You know that guy you filled out the survey for? His score is B. He's a guy with promising potential, but he has work to do. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10 dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10 dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He's unlikely to go far in his career, even if he sometimes talks about big things. While he can be charming and creative, hard work and follow through are not his strengths. He's more comfortable being easygoing than really hustling for success.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he's more likely to pull away than push through. Instead of facing problems straight on, he might quietly disappear, avoid tough conversations, or simply go with the flow until the storm passes. You won't see him yell or panic, but you also won't see him fighting hard to fix things.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work are likely to find him pleasant and easy to be around. He's polite, keeps his cool, and doesn't get into loud fights or create drama. He usually avoids arguments and prefers to stay out of conflicts, quietly keeping to himself when things get tense.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do really well in your career, he's not likely to feel jealous or threatened. He won't make a fuss or get into arguments about your success. However, don't expect loud cheers or deep conversations about your achievements.
What if you start earning more than him?
He's not likely to resent you or feel deeply insecure if you earn more than him. He doesn't tie his sense of worth to being the main breadwinner and isn't built for competition in the relationship. You'll probably see him accept the situation without much fuss, quietly going along with things and avoiding arguments.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He doesn't pay much attention to planning or organizing money, so he might spend without much thought. He enjoys nice things and moments. So if something catches his eye, he could buy it just for the pleasure of the experience. Saving, budgeting, or tracking expenses might feel boring or stressful for him, so these things could easily slip through the cracks.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He's more likely to daydream and enjoy life's pleasures than to strictly live within his means. Sometimes he might spend on things that make him feel good, like going out or buying nice items, even if it stretches his budget. If you're practical about finances, you might find yourself reminding him to slow down on spending.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He's generally open handed with money when it comes to enjoying life and sharing pleasant moments. You'll notice he's happy to spend on outings, treats, or things that add some beauty to life. So expect generosity with fun and experiences, but don't rely on him for strong emotional or practical support.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He isn't secretive or controlling about money, but he also isn't very organized or talkative about it. You won't catch him hiding things or trying to hold power through finances. You may need to bring up money topics yourself, as he might avoid or quietly drift away from serious talks.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He's not the type to insist that housework is only your responsibility, but he also might not step up without being asked. If something needs to be done, he may quietly hope someone else will handle it rather than taking the lead himself. If sharing housework is important to you, you'll need to be clear and direct about what you want.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He's not the type to take charge with chores or diaper duty on his own. More often, he'll wait for you to ask before getting involved, and even then, he might do just the basics or the quickest job possible. If you want a partner who jumps in equally and shares the load without reminders, you may end up disappointed.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He isn't someone who argues just to prove a point. In fact, he's much more likely to listen quietly than to start a fight or defend himself. However, while he won't argue, he may not deeply try to understand your side unless you explain things clearly.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he usually stays calm and respectful. He isn't the type to shout, use hurtful words, or act out with aggression. You won't have to worry about sudden outbursts or being on the receiving end of nasty comments.
Does he have a bad temper?
No, he's not the kind of man who gets angry quickly. He tends to keep his emotions under control and prefers to avoid fights or loud arguments. If something upsets him, he's more likely to quietly step away than raise his voice or show his anger openly.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He's the sort of person who will quietly accept blame rather than start an argument or try to shift fault onto you. If he's made a mistake, he may simply say sorry or just agree with you, even if he doesn't fully understand the problem. He avoids drama and doesn't like to point fingers, so he won't usually blame you for things going wrong.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
Yes, he will respect your boundaries and understands that no truly means no. He isn't pushy or forceful. If you say you aren't comfortable with something, he'll step back quietly without arguing or insisting. Making others feel comfortable and at ease matters to him. So you can trust that your wishes will be respected. Sometimes he might even become extra careful to avoid upsetting you, choosing to pull away rather than risk crossing a line.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
He's unlikely to take it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. Instead of getting upset or sulky, he'll usually accept your choice without much fuss and quietly move on. He doesn't like creating pressure or drama, so you won't see him trying to guilt trip or argue about it.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him to handle private moments gently and respectfully. He isn't the kind of person who would use your secrets or intimate experiences against you or embarrass you later. His way is quiet and polite, not hurtful or vengeful.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He isn't someone who seeks out drama or new excitement with other women, but he does enjoy the fun and beauty in life. While he might appreciate a pleasant conversation or notice someone attractive, he's not bold or driven to chase after others. His loyalty comes more from being laid back than from deep, passionate commitment.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
He isn't over possessive or controlling. He's not the type to act jealous, ask too many questions, or watch your every move. You won't see him making rules for you or becoming suspicious over small things.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, his protective nature is not a sign of a controlling personality. In fact, he is gentle and more likely to avoid conflict or confrontation than to try and control your actions. His style is laid back, respectful of your space, and not interested in bossing you around.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He probably won't say outright that parenting is just your job, but in practice, he's likely to let you handle most of the work. He isn't stubborn or demanding, but he tends to step back and wait for direction when it comes to daily routines with kids. He's easygoing, not lazy, but not inclined to take initiative on his own.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
He'll stay calm when the kids mess up or get upset. He isn't quick to lose his temper or yell. Instead, he prefers to keep the peace and avoid making a scene. He chooses calm and quiet over confrontation for better or worse.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
Yes, he will support your role as both a mother and your own person in a quiet, easygoing way. He's not likely to get in the way of your interests, dreams, or friendships, and he won't pressure you to fit into a certain mold at home. His support comes without fuss, but also without a lot of energy or encouragement.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later after kids and marriage change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
No, he isn't the kind of man who will secretly want you to quit your career after having a child. He is relaxed and goes along with what makes you happy rather than pushing his own agenda or making demands later. He won't pressure you to give up your work dreams or suddenly change the deal once you become a mother.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He will treat your parents with respect and politeness, always using good manners and keeping things comfortable. However, his warmth may feel more like friendly courtesy than deep connection. He's unlikely to start heartfelt conversations or build close bonds unless they take the first step. He's more likely to quietly adjust to your family's ways rather than expect them to change for him.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he will handle it calmly and quietly. He doesn't like drama or loud arguments, so he'll usually avoid fighting and let things pass rather than make a scene. While this can keep peace, it can also feel like you're carrying the load.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
He isn't likely to put on a big show of being modern with you in private, but expect you to suddenly act like a traditional, supportive wife in front of his relatives. His approach is easygoing, and he doesn't set many rules or make strong demands either in private or in public. He's more focused on keeping peace and avoiding conflict than following strict rules or appearances.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he's most likely to stay out of it rather than stand firmly by your side or take their side. He avoids conflict and prefers to keep things calm, so he won't jump in to argue for you or against you. He won't intentionally hurt you or betray your trust, but you might wish he was more supportive.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He's not strongly tied to his mother's wishes like a typical mummy's boy, but he also doesn't like to get caught in the middle of conflicts. If there's disagreement between you and his mother, he is more likely to stay silent or quietly step back rather than openly take your side. He avoids arguments, so you might feel like he's not supporting you enough during tense moments.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
He's not likely to share every detail of your fights or private life with his mother or sister. He prefers to keep things quiet and avoid drama, so he usually keeps personal matters between the two of you instead of running to his family with every issue. If something is really troubling him, he might withdraw or keep it to himself rather than talk it out with others.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So, overall, this guy gets a B. He's a guy with potential, but he has work to do to live up to it. Being in a relationship with this man means living a calm, gentle, and mostly drama free life. He enjoys fun moments and easy days, rarely getting angry or picking fights.